Hey, Joanne, when should I put my house on the market?
Huh, that's a great question. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Tom and Joanne. I'm Joanne Taranto.
And I'm Tom Matthews. And this is the question we get from sellers all the time is when should I put my house on the market? And, in New England, we do have four different seasons, and there are times when it can be perfectly timed. But our general answer for people is when it's best for you.
Yeah.
When it's
What's
best for
good for you?
you is when you should put the house on the market. So I think what Joanne and I will do is we're going to take you through kind of like what's the ideal time and then kind of walk back to what's best for you and your family. So Joanne, what's the best time in Massachusetts, Concord, Massachusetts to list your house?
So the best time to put your home on the market is when the grass is greening up, the trees are blooming, the threat of snow is behind us, and that maybe after Easter or after the April school vacation, depending on how those two things line up, is really the ideal time to get your home to the market and time a transaction to close out at the end of the school year.
End of the school year, give the new family the summertime to get adjusted before they start school in September.
Mhm.
Schools in Concord are so important, and so many people move here for the schools that really Q2, basically from April 1 till the end of June, is the ideal time to list your property. We find often in Concord that if you list your home in the summer, so July, August into September, a lot of people are traveling. They are going to summer homes or summer vacations,
Mhm.
and that market can quiet down. And then fall can actually pick up again because people are back, they're looking and so forth, and they're really excited to potentially find a house. Maybe their kids are in private school,
Mhm.
or maybe they're moving within town and they want to buy the property. And then, kind of the lowest season is that wintertime.
Mhm.
Wintertime, which is that January, February, March. But the reality is, and we see this all the time, people get relocated constantly. People get divorced, unfortunately.
Mhm.
People die, unfortunately. And there are all seasons when houses are coming on the market. And so oftentimes we meet with a homeowner and we say, what's important to you? Because if you have to put the house on the market in December,
Mhm.
and maybe it sells for 3% less than what it would sell for in June or 5% less, if you need to go, you need to go.
Right.
Because sometimes there are things that are more important than money in a transaction. I mean, Joanne, what did you often tell a homeowner that says, I got to put my house on the market and it's January?
I typically say, what does your ideal experience look like? So, would you like to see yourself on the market ASAP? Would you like to maximize profits? What is the strategy that is most important to you? Because what we try to do is tailor our methodology with what your goals are.
Yeah.
So, time may be really important, money may be really important. And what we want to do is factor all of the things in for you and whatever your relocation needs are to decide when it's best to put the house
Yeah. Because I mean, say you had an untimely death in the family, someone passed away. If you have, let's say, like a $6,000 a month mortgage payment and the death happened in November, and you're saying, man, I really would like to wait until May to put the house on the market, but that's potentially, $30,000 that you're outlaying just in your mortgage. Plus your heating, cooling, you might be
on.
$50,000 in, and you might be saying that $50,000, man, I could really use. Why don't we put the house on the market sooner? And sometimes that decision can offset the difference the house might sell for
Mhm.
because you're not having the outlay of capital. Because one thing that Joanne and I have found in the last 20 years, once people make the mental decision to sell, they're already at 1 foot out the door. They're like ready to go. And sometimes that mental shift is enough to say, okay, maybe this isn't the best time of year to sell, but I'm mentally ready. And the money I might save on the outlay of capital may be enough to offset waiting to a different season.
And I think keeping in mind the buyer cycle that is predominant in the market that we're in right now, where it's taking buyers a little bit longer to find homes. It's taking sometimes up to a year, maybe more, to
Yeah.
find the right home or get a home under contract. And keeping that in mind as a seller, you may say, okay, well, the buyer cycle right now is long. So the buyers are staying in the market as opposed to the inventory coming to the market, the buyer pool is satisfied, and then there's less in demand. you still have that demand level in the market right now where you can move at different times of the year, and you just base your strategy according to where the market is at that
Right.
point in time.
Right. And ultimately, you just have to have the right expectations and the right goals. If your goal is to get the most money the market will bear, you put it in prime season.
Mhm.
If you say, you know what, I've been in my house for 45 years, I bought it for what now feels like a song,
Mhm.
and whether I sell it for top dollar or not
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
Or my new construction is going to be finished in November and we want to move in before the holidays,
Right.
and this is the time that works out for our family. That is totally okay. We
Yeah.
sell lots of houses during the winter and we're constantly out with buyers. So my feeling is you need to evaluate what your goals are and then work backwards from that, because if you make the decision to sell and you have a number of things that you want to get done to improve the value of your property, you may need upwards of a year to prepare your house for sale, versus if you're going to put it on and not do any work to it and sell it in as is condition, you really have more flexibility with that because you don't have any time constraints. So I think the most important thing is what the timing is and what's right for you and your family. And then the cycle of the real estate market being that real estate is very driven by the school year in our area. So thinking about that end of the school year time frame, getting your home to the market then is going to yield, the biggest buyer pool and the most attention that your home may get.
Especially if you're selling a single family home. I mean, we're just making that assumption because
Yep.
we live here in Concord, but maybe we're in Maynard and someone's selling a two family.
Mhm.
Investors don't care about the schools.
Yeah.
They can move any time of the year. Maybe you live in Acton and you have a condo. So the type of property you have will also be impacted by the seasonality.
Yeah.
Because like a couple of years ago, we sold a two family in Acton, put on the market in September, did great, still got a great value for it because the investor was like, I'm not looking to time schools, I'm just
Right.
looking to buy an investment property.
Mhm.
So the type of property you have will also impact timing.
Yes,
You
and
know,
your location may differ from ours as far as the buyer cycle or the real
Right.
estate cycle. People in vacation areas, they don't buy vacation homes in the middle of the winter when you can't see the boats in the water and so forth. So that's, not as good a time
Right.
as selling a home that has an in-ground pool and having the pool open and looking
Right.
beautiful and crystal clear. That's a real value add to the marketing of your property and something to definitely consider.
Yeah, real estate's local. I mean, we had a great analogy that if it's raining in Oregon and you have your umbrella out, but it's sunny in Massachusetts, it's like they're totally different places. And that's the same thing with real estate. And real estate's so hyper local. I mean, Joanne and I are focused in Concord and maybe a 10-mile radius around us.
Mhm.
Because I remember talking to people out in the Berkshires and they'd be like, the wintertime is great. That's when a lot of New Yorkers come up because they want to buy something to be ready for the spring.
Mhm.
So, it's just for our market, there is some seasonality to it.
Yep.
But again, it's all about you because the experience of selling a home is for you
Absolutely.
and your family and what's best for you guys. So we hope you enjoyed this video. We want to have you subscribe to our video. We have tons of educational videos to help people with all things real estate. And I want to thank you. I'm Tom Matthews.
And I'm Joanne Taranto. Cheers.